Imagine a child who was reluctantly given up by his parents, but raised by a loving family. Still, he felt distant and out of place. Up through his adult years, he played the part that was expected of him well, even convincing himself from time to time. In a moment of raw honesty, all the repressed emotion and confusion burst out of him in the defense of another that he saw himself in. Those in the community had seen who he really was, and it scared him. So he ran and ran and ran. Years of running took him to work in the fields of yet another foreign place. Welcomed into another community, and even finding love. The work that he did gave him a sense of accomplishment and meaning. He felt he was finally stepping into who he really was. One day, in the midst of his work, something caught his attention. Something was different about this place and about him. And in that moment, though he doubted what it meant, he knew it was time to return to the land that he had left years prior. That somehow, this self-discovery meant something for others. And he chose to return to the land, to that people, regardless of outcome, because he finally knew who he was. This was Moses' call, a calling that was not of vocation, but of simply being and stepping more into himself for a community. We are called to be the person God created us to be. Take a moment and try to think of how most encounters with Jesus ended. As Jesus left, in many ways, he told individuals time and again of who they really were, challenging them to step into that, to the person that he had created them to be. So who are you? God is calling you first and foremost to himself. He came to save the world, to save you and not condemn you. Or as Ruth Barton says, we are saved from being who we are not and called to be who we are. Did you know that you are chosen? Did you know that you are his beloved? Did you know that you are holy and cherished? That in spite of all our doubts and failures, we are considered saints. Christ sees us as that. He believes this for us and desires us to see ourselves through his eyes. This is our true calling, our true identity. But may you remember that when you ask, "Who am I to think of doing such a thing?" God's answer is, "I am with you."